All right, now let's go ahead and try to apply these philosophical approaches to some of the contemporary issues that we identified earlier. So let's start with healthcare. With respect to Kantianism, the central issue in healthcare becomes what it means to respect persons' dignity. On some views, healthcare is such a basic need that dignity requires us to provide it for all. On other views, the provision of such benefits tend to make people dependent, which in turn undermines their dignity. For utilitarians, the various costs and benefits must be carefully analyzed. Principal benefits to society include the treatment and prevention of highly contagious diseases. A potential principal cost is the high financial expense. So in stem cell research, as noted in an earlier slide, the central question for Kant with respect to embryonic stem cell research will be whether a human embryo counts as a person or not, and at what stage does an embryo become a person. Is an embryo until the baby is born, until the baby has a heartbeat, before it has cognitive brain awareness, self-awareness, or whether an embryo is a human at the point of conception. For utilitarians, the likely benefits of embryonic stem cell research are of paramount importance. A further relevant issue, not mentioned in the textbook, is whether a human embryo can properly be said to be harmed. If it cannot, then there will be virtually no reason for the utilitarian to object to embryonic stem cell research. Now, this is not to say that there is no possible reasons. It could be that the money spent on such research would bear more fruit in some other context, right? All right, in genetic engineering, the rights of cloned persons is an important matter here. Clearly, using them as organ banks would violate the Kantian principle of treating persons always as an ends and never merely as means. Another broadly Kantian concern, not discussed in the textbook, is whether genetic engineering, in particular what we call genetic enhancements, involves the commodification of children. If parents are able to create designer babies, are they objectionably creating their own children as things rather than as persons? And does that make sense? Are they creating this idea of a being? This are these the recipe for what they view as the perfect human, rather than just allowing for the creation of a person? In utilitarian concerns about genetic engineering may include the risk of experimentation and the likelihood of an increasing gap between the haves, i.e. those who can afford genetic enhancement, and the have-nots, those who cannot. In the world of testing, it is widely agreed that respect for human dignity in the context of drug testing requires that patients be provided with full information and that their consent be obtained. Right? We can't just do drug testings on anybody like Gene Hackman was trying to do. It may also entail the provision of further medical care as needed. In the context of genetic testing, privacy is an important dignity-based consideration, as well as one that has significant utilitarian benefits. Now finally, in the world of transplants, here some of the most difficult questions surround prioritizing organ donations, since the need for organs is much greater than the available supply. So is it compatible with Kantianism to favor, say, the young over the old? Right? Who deserves the organ? He or she who's in the greatest need, he or she who has the longest life expectancy or the highest quality of life to use that.